Hello everybody, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. This is going to be part 3 of the reunion, the conclusion of season 5. So we had left off part 2 where Keke was saying that she's been knowing that Lenny has been cheating on Lisa for a while and that she knows some of the models that he cheated on her with. And even though this hurts Lisa to hear these things, because it's not just Keke who has said it, it's also been other people, she accepts it because unfortunately it's the truth. They all have a conversation about the parties that Lenny and Lisa used to have, you know, where people were showing everything and wearing really, short clothes. Now Lisa says that she knows now that that was basically like a speeding dating thing for him. Like, that's where he was meeting women and flirting with them. And she does say that he got into many fights with him over the flirting and stuff like that. And she does wish that she would have done things differently. I still can't wrap my head around a wife planning Halloween parties or whatever it is and have these like naked people. I don't know, but that's what it is. She then goes on to thank the amount of support that all the women have shown her. This is a very dark moment, and they've all helped her, which has been something that I have always mentioned because I have noticed that they've all rallied around her this season, and it's great to see that she does have that support. So the girl that Lenny's dating right now had filed a restriction order against Lisa, which is crazy, but thankfully it was dismissed because there was really no basis for it. Finally, Andy asks if she would like to be married again, and she says definitely because she still wants to be with someone forever. I mean, let's not forget, it's Lenny who wants the divorce, not her. So she does want that companion to be with someone. Luckily for her, she is dating someone, and I hope it works out for her. We switch over to talk about the Alexia and Nicole feud this season, and remember that even the husbands got involved at some point. Andy asks how the status of that is, and I expected them to say that everything was fine. But then Alexia calls Nicole's husband, Anthony, she calls him Antonia because she says that he acts like a woman because of what he says and because he's disrespectful. They apparently had an encounter off camera and it looks like things were heated. And then Larsa jumps in and calls Anthony a bitch, but Andy shuts it down right away after he hears that. He then asks Keke why she was so emotional during the shaman section over there in the Bahamas. And it looks like there's a lot more to Keke's life that we don't know that much about. Like, she hasn't had the opportunity to share it. But when she speaks about like her previous relationship, how she's a single mother, there definitely is a lot more potential and more about her that we could know. At the Bahamas, Julie and Adriana give everyone stones. Remember that? And then Marysol threw them out the balcony. Well, they asked Marysol why she did that. She says that she was spooked. And Julia says that there was nothing bad about it. And Marysol says that she knows that from her it wouldn't be. But then Adriana says that from her either. But Marysol says, well, you're Brazilian. So then Adriana says, well, you're Cuban. It's just ridiculous. Keke then is dismissed. They give her a burger. That's like an inside joke for them. And she's getting up. And as she's doing that, Julia clears everything because she had disinvited her in the season. And she makes up with her. And they hug it out. So that's pretty nice to see. Then they congratulate Guerdy because a magazine named her wedding planner of the year. That's a great accomplishment. Good for her. So she's very busy. But when it comes to her problems with her husband, Russell, she's grateful for the show because they probably wouldn't have had the conversations that they did if it wasn't for the show. And she gets emotional and starts to cry because he means a lot to her. And she listened to what he had to say and they fixed it and now they're happy. So I'm really happy for her. But then we get to one of the biggest feuds this season, which was Alexia and Marysol versus Adriana. They show a super cute montage of super old clips like of the original seasons, and it showed how good of friends them three were, like when they were at the wedding, this and that. But then to see how they stand now, it's sad. Marysol starts crying because of her friendship and how it ended with Adriana, and it bothers her that Adriana this season brought up that her ex-boyfriend hit her up. Adriana says that that was an attempt to show her loyalty, But Andy makes her realize that the bad part was that she kept repeatedly saying that the boyfriend told her that he never loved her. Which, I mean, he did tell her that, according to her, but it was still not a good thing for Marysol to hear. They then have a big argument about Adriana being or not being married to Frederick when she got married and what Leah Black said. But to go back to what happened this season, we talk about the infamous ankle. Multiple women do confirm that the ankle was actually pretty bad, like it was bruised. But then the worst part was when Adriana made that horrible analogy. Andy asks, why would you say that? Why would you bring that up? And she says that when they were in the boat, things were looking good. Alexia said that her song was great. And she wanted to connect to Alexia in any type of way that she could. So she said that about Frankie, but like she wasn't trying to talk about her son. She wasn't trying to like mention Frankie specifically, but she just had like a complete mental breakdown. She didn't know what she was saying. And then Julia and Guerdy explained that Adriana is the only one in this group who is not with anyone. She has no boyfriend, no husband, and that she's been in a dark place. And then Marysol says that no, she's not in a dark place. She is dark. She's a dark person. So Adriana says, really? So for the past 12 years, I was in dark, but now all of a sudden I am? And Marysol says, no, you have been dark all this time. I just didn't see it. And if things can get crazier, Adriana tells Marysol that she should be quiet because apparently there's someone who sent Adriana a bizarre letter, and she gives it to Andy, and this person is complaining of being mistreated by Marysol, and that Marysol's been doing horrible things to them. And then at the end of the letter it says, written by Marysol's liver, because of all of that she drinks. When I tell you guys, I busted out laughing. It was hilarious, and I feel like it was like meant to like, you know, make everything more calm. But the mean girls, Alexia and Marysol, definitely didn't think that it was funny, and they were furious when that happened. So it doesn't look good. So Andy just figures that he should just switch gears and talk about Alexia, about her sons. Of course, Frankie, it's great that Alexia has been with this the Moura Foundation. It's very emotional. And then her other son, Peter, who's sort of a mess, is also mentioned. But, you know, Alexia is going to love her son either way. She's not going to sit up there and say, yeah, my son, Peter, is a lazy, ungrateful son. No. So Andy asks Adriana her thoughts, and she says that even though last season so many people were judging Peter, she always supported Alexia and was there for her. And Marysol says, that's what's heartbreaking. You were there for us, and then look how you were this season. And that's where Adriana completely breaks down. She starts crying and saying, I get it. I put my foot in my mouth. I understand that I've said things that are not okay, that have been hurtful, but I have never, ever in my life intentionally wanted to hurt either of you. I love you guys. You guys were my friends, my best friends. And just the way she was crying, the way she was explaining it, I could see the frustration. It made me really emotional. And I'm not even that much of an emotional person, but just seeing her, like how much she struggled this season and knowing like how her situation is at home, she has nobody, it really broke my heart. So then I think that for the first time, Adriana was really resonating with Alexia and Marysol, so they kind of understood what was happening, because at a certain point even Adriana was saying, I get it, I'll probably be alone, I'll die alone, no one loves me, and they're like, no, we never said that. So then Andy, he can tell that this actually could be, you know, mendable. So he asks them all to say nice things about each other, and they do, which is awesome. And it looks like things are not that bad anymore. And then Guerdy says, well, Larsa, why don't you and Nicole say some nice things about each other? And it wasn't that sincere. You can tell that Nicole really doesn't like Larsa, and I don't blame her at all. Because throughout this whole reunion, Larsa was being so mean, telling people to shut up, calling people names. But they conclude the reunion. Everything looks pretty good. Andy goes around and asks each of them what the highlight of the season was. Larsa says that she was more comfortable. Alexia says that the Moura Foundation. Marysol says that she's loved being around everybody. Guerdy says that, you know, spending more time with her family. Adriana says that the music, being with Emilio Stefan. Julia says that everyone needs to appreciate the moments, the small moments, because of her situation with Martina. Nicole says that her highlight was making things right with her dad. And then Lisa says that her highlight was, maybe having a new stage in her life where she's going to be more happy, hopefully. And we end things. They all take some drinks. They're all dancing to Adriana's song, and it made me so happy to see that Alexia and Marysol did hug Adriana, and it looked pretty sincere. And I love that because I like Adriana, I like Alexia, I like Marysol. I didn't like the way they were treating Adriana, but I am so glad that this conclusion ended with them being okay. And that was pretty good enough for me. That was the end of the episode. That was the end of season 5. This season was on fire. On fire. I'm not gonna sing the song, but it was awesome. I really cannot wait. This is probably one of the best Housewives shows right now. But you guys, let me know, what did you think about this reunion, about this overall season, about Adriana and her friendship with Alexia and Marysol, and your thoughts on the other ladies as well. So guys, that was it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. You'll have a great one. Bye.